At 62, I don't have time for guesswork. Every role, every stunt, every long day on set demands more than just willpower. It demands strategy. And when it comes to staying strong as I age, that strategy includes what I eat. Most people don't realize it, but your muscles don't just vanish with age, they disappear because you stop feeding them what they need to survive. It's called sarcopenia, and it affects millions of people over 60, weakening strength, balance, energy. But here's the truth most people miss. You can fight it. And it starts with something as simple as the right fruit. Yes, fruit. Because certain fruits aren't just healthy snacks, they're clinically backed tools that help your body produce collagen, fight inflammation, and preserve lean muscle mass. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 fruits doctors actually recommend to counteract sarcopenia and how I've worked them into my own routine for strength, stamina, and recovery. If you're serious about staying active, powerful, and in control of your body after 60 hit. Like, subscribe for more science-backed strategies, and drop a comment. What's the one fruit you can't live without? Let's get into it, starting with the one fruit that's been shown to reduce muscle loss in clinical trials. You know, one thing I've learned over the years, especially being in action films for most of my life, is that the real challenge after 50 isn't just staying in shape, it's holding on to your strength. Here's a fact most people don't realize: once we pass the age of 50, we start to lose about 1 to 2% of our muscle mass every single year. And the scary part, that rate can accelerate like a stunt bike off a cliff if we don't actively do something about it. Hey, if you've been feeling like you're not as strong as you used to be, if climbing stairs wears you out faster than before, or if you feel a little more breakable, stick with me. I've been there. That feeling of slipping strength, it's real. And what I'm about to share might completely shift how you think about aging. Doctors call it sarcopenia, but I like to think of it as that moment when your body starts saying, "Hey buddy, I don't bounce back like I used to." And here's the truth. The toughest part of getting older isn't the wrinkles or the gray hairs or even wearing reading glasses. It's that gut punch moment when you realize your own body isn't keeping up anymore. When simple things, opening a jar, lifting grocery bags, or pushing yourself out of a low chair, suddenly feel like a challenge. Now, here's where it gets interesting and frustrating. Most doctors don't fully explain this part. Sarcopenia is not some unstoppable curse of aging. It's not set in stone. In fact, it can be slowed down, paused, and in some cases even reversed. And one of the most powerful tools I've discovered for fighting back. It's already sitting in your kitchen, no joke. I'm talking about fruit. But not just any fruit, 7 specific kinds that have been thoroughly studied by aging specialists and sports nutrition experts for their incredible ability to help preserve and even rebuild muscle in older adults. The problem is, no one really talks about which fruits, why they work, or how to eat them to actually get the benefits. That's where I come in. Look, everyone's been told to eat your protein to keep your muscles strong. Sure, protein's important, but the latest science is showing that certain natural compounds found in specific fruits might be just as critical. And that's a game changer. Let's start with the first one. Honestly, it might be the most underrated of them all. Blueberries, what I like to call the silent bodyguards of your muscles. Let me tell you something that really hit me. A good friend of mine, Carlos, 72, super active guy. He walked daily, played dominoes with us on weekends, took great care of his garden. Then, almost overnight, his energy just vanished. Within 6 months, he was struggling to do even basic tasks. He dropped a bunch of weight, and the strength in his arms and legs practically gone. His doctor diagnosed him with accelerated sarcopenia. Now the doctor just told him it was normal at his age and handed him some pricey protein supplements. But Carlos, he's curious by nature. So he started digging into the research himself, and that's when he stumbled on the secret power of blueberries. See, blueberries are loaded with one of the most potent antioxidants out there, anthocyanins. That's what gives them their deep purplish-blue color. But here's what blew our minds. Those anthocyanins have a very specific role in protecting and repairing muscle tissue. There was this groundbreaking study from Tufts University that tracked 200 older adults with sarcopenia over the span of a year. Half of them ate a cup of fresh blueberries every day. The other half didn't. The results: The Blueberry Group not only stopped losing muscle, they actually gained muscle strength on average, an 18% increase in just 1 year. That's insane. Why does it work so well? Let me put it this way. When we get older, our muscles are constantly under attack from something called oxidative stress. Imagine rust slowly building up inside your muscles, weakening them day by day. That's what's happening under the surface. But the anthocyanins in blueberries, they act like a high-performance antioxidant oil clearing that rust out and preventing more from building up. Even better, they trigger the production of a powerful substance called insulin-like growth factor, which literally tells your muscles, hey, it's time to grow and get stronger. That's huge! But here's a key detail, and I'm speaking from experience now. Not all blueberries are created equal. Fresh ones contain about 3 times more anthocyanins than frozen and 10 times more than dried ones. That's a massive difference. Also, when you eat them matters. So here's the exact protocol we followed, Carlos and I both. Quantity: 1 cup of fresh blueberries per day, that's around 140 grams. Timing: 30 minutes before any kind of physical movement, even if it's just a light walk. Prep: rinse them with cold water right before eating, but don't soak them or prep them in advance. Carlos stuck to this protocol, and within 4 months he told me he was carrying his own grocery bags again. The strength in his arms was back. Even his doctor was stunned. So much so, he asked Carlos to explain exactly what he'd been doing. There's another fascinating perk too. Blueberries don't just help your muscles, they also improve the connection between your brain and muscles. As we age, that line of communication starts to glitch a bit. But blueberries help keep those neural signals sharp and responsive. It's like upgrading your internal wiring. And here's the kicker: blueberries are just the first fruit in this muscle-saving arsenal. The next one I'm going to tell you about. It has a wild ability to deliver clean, natural energy directly to your muscles, keeping them powered and ready. All right, let's talk about the second fruit. The banana. Everyone knows what it is, but very few people actually understand how to use it properly when it comes to fighting off muscle loss, especially as we age. And let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how pro athletes are almost always seen eating bananas? Think that's a coincidence? Not a chance. There's a reason sports medicine experts call the banana the ideal muscle fuel, and this becomes even more critical once we hit our later years. Here's the deal: the real danger with sarcopenia isn't just that we lose muscle mass, it's that the muscle we still have doesn't work as well as it should. Why? Because it's not getting the fuel it needs. Think of it like owning a top-tier sports car but filling it up with low-quality gas. Sure, it'll run, but it won't perform the way it was built to. Now, here's something I've experienced firsthand. Muscles in older adults lose their ability to store energy efficiently. Back when we were younger, our muscles acted like high-capacity rechargeable batteries. But as time goes on, those batteries lose their edge. That's where bananas come in. See, bananas pack 3 types of natural sugars: fructose, glucose, and sucrose. And the key isn't just that they're present, it's the balance. This perfect ratio allows energy to be released gradually and steadily, fueling your muscles right when they need it most. I came across this fascinating study in the Journal of Gerontology. They looked at a group of older adults. Half of them ate 1 medium banana a day, the other half didn't. After just 16 weeks, the banana group saw a 25% improvement in muscular endurance and a 40% drop in fatigue during everyday tasks. That's huge. But that's not all. The banana's got another hidden weapon: potassium. Now listen, if you're over 60 like I am, chances are your body isn't getting enough potassium, and that directly affects how your muscles function. Without enough potassium, your muscles literally can't contract with the force they're supposed to. A single medium banana has about 400 milligrams of potassium. That's nearly 10% of your daily needs. And here's what's wild: the potassium in bananas gets absorbed more easily than the stuff you find in most supplements. That blew my mind. So here's the exact timing protocol I used and recommend if you need long-lasting energy. Eat a banana 1 hour before doing any physical activity, whether it's walking, running errands, or cleaning up around the house. For faster recovery, eat half a banana right after you've exerted yourself. That way your muscles bounce back quicker. And here's one I never expected: nighttime muscle support. If you eat a small banana about 2 hours before bed, you're giving your body the potassium it needs to repair your muscles while you sleep. But let me tell you something most people don't know: how ripe your banana is actually changes what it does inside your body. Green bananas. They're full of resistant starch, which feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Bright yellow ones. They've got the ideal mix of sugars to fuel your muscles. And the really ripe ones with brown speckles. They're loaded with fast-absorbing simple sugars. So, if you're trying to fight muscle loss, go for yellow bananas with just a few brown spots. That's the sweet spot, literally and figuratively, for muscle health. Bananas are pure muscle fuel. But what's coming next? The third fruit has a completely different superpower. It can actually help repair damage that's already built up in your muscles over time. Now let's dive into fruit number 3. And honestly, this one might just be the most groundbreaking when it comes to tackling age-related muscle loss: tart cherries. I wasn't expecting this one to be such a game changer, but let me share something that completely caught me off guard. So, what makes tart cherries such a powerhouse against muscle loss? It comes down to some heavy-hitting compounds they carry: anthocyanins and proanthocyanidins. Now, these aren't the same anthocyanins you find in blueberries. They've got a very specific molecular design that makes them incredibly effective at targeting muscle inflammation. And that's key. You see, sarcopenia isn't just about muscle shrinking because we're not active. A major contributor is chronic low-grade inflammation. It's like your muscles are constantly irritated on a cellular level, and that irritation blocks them from rebuilding and recovering like they're supposed to. There was this remarkable study out of the University of Vermont: 150 older adults with sarcopenia tracked for 24 weeks. One group drank tart cherry juice daily, the other had a placebo. The results were off the charts. The cherry group saw a 47% drop in muscle inflammation markers. On top of that, they gained 1.2 kilos of lean muscle mass on average. Their grip strength improved by 32%, and they reported 60% less muscle soreness after physical activity. So, why do tart cherries work especially well for older adults? 3 reasons. First, they cut down nighttime inflammation. See, our bodies naturally release growth hormones while we sleep. Those are the agents that help rebuild muscle. But if your body's inflamed, those hormones can't do their job properly. Tart cherries bring that inflammation down while you rest. Second, they improve deep sleep quality. They're actually one of the rare natural sources of melatonin, and not just any kind. This particular form helps support the deepest stage of sleep, which is exactly when muscle recovery happens. Third, and this part really got me, the compounds in tart cherries actually speed up the clearance of waste products from your muscles. It's like they send in a cleaning crew at night to sweep out all the junk and let the repair work begin. Now, I followed this exact routine myself when I was training for one of my more physically intense roles. Here's the protocol. Option 1. Mix 2 tablespoons of concentrated tart cherry juice into a glass of water and drink it exactly 1 hour before bed. Do it every night, no exceptions. Option 2. If you prefer whole fruit, go for 1 cup of fresh or frozen tart cherries. Eat them as dessert about 2 hours after dinner. Option 3. Use unsweetened dried tart cherries, a 1/4 cup mixed with plain Greek yogurt, 1 hour before sleeping. That combo is not only delicious, it also supports your gut health and recovery. But here's what matters most: consistency. The anti-inflammatory effects of tart cherries don't hit you overnight. It builds over time. By week 4, you'll start noticing a difference. And by the end of the 2nd month, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. Now, let me tell you something crucial. Not all cherries are created equal. The sweet cherries most people snack on. They don't have the same concentration of these inflammation-fighting compounds. What you need are tart cherries, usually sold frozen dried with no added sugar or in concentrated juice form. These little red warriors work overnight to repair muscle damage. But the next fruit on the list. It takes things one step further. It has the unique power to help you build brand new muscle from the ground up. All right, you're not going to see this one coming. Fruit number 4, kiwi. That little fuzzy green fruit most people associate with vitamin C turns out to be a muscle-building powerhouse. And it's got properties that go way beyond what you'd expect from just a boost of citrus. Let me tell you about my buddy Alfonso, 71 years old, former mechanic guy, had the kind of grip strength that could crush a wrench. But once he retired, he started noticing his muscle strength slipping away. It got so bad that he couldn't even lift the tools he used to handle with ease. His son, a sports nutritionist, told him to add kiwis to his daily meals. Alfonso laughed it off at first. "You think this tiny green thing is gonna fix this?" he said. But he gave it a shot. He trusted his son. After 3 months of eating 2 kiwis a day, Alfonso was back in his neighbor's garage on weekends helping out like old times. He bounced back so well that people around him started asking what the heck he was doing. So, what's the deal with kiwi? Why does it help rebuild muscle so effectively? Turns out it's a mix of 4 powerful factors. First, let's talk about vitamin C. 1 kiwi has more vitamin C than a whole orange, and that matters because vitamin C is essential for collagen synthesis. And collagen, that's what holds your muscle fibers together. Without enough of it, your muscles can't stay firm and structured no matter how much protein you're packing in. Second, kiwis contain a special enzyme called actinidin. This enzyme supercharges your ability to digest protein. That's critical especially for older adults because as we age, our bodies don't break down protein as easily. I personally started eating kiwi before meals on some of my more intense training days, and I genuinely noticed I was getting more out of the food I was already eating. Third, potassium. Now you've heard bananas are great for potassium, but here's the kicker: kiwi has even more, and in a form that your body absorbs more easily. That's a big deal for muscle contraction and for keeping your body from losing muscle protein. Fourth, kiwi is loaded with a specific type of soluble fiber that feeds your gut's good bacteria, the kind that helps your body produce amino acids. And those amino acids, they're the building blocks your muscles depend on. But your gut can only make them if those good bacteria are properly nourished, and that's where kiwi steps in. There was this groundbreaking study out of the University of Auckland. Researchers tracked 200 older adults with sarcopenia for 20 weeks. Half of them ate 2 kiwis a day. The other half, same calorie intake, different fruits. The results were pretty amazing. The kiwi group gained an average of 1.8 kilograms of lean muscle. Their leg strength increased by 28%. They also absorbed protein more efficiently, up by 35%. And perhaps most importantly, their muscle breakdown markers dropped significantly. But here's a trick most people miss: how you eat. Your kiwi affects how well it works. Timing is key. Eat your first kiwi 30 minutes before a high-protein meal. That way, those digestive enzymes are primed and ready to go. And don't just scoop out the pulp, eat the skin too after rinsing it well. The skin has 3 times more vitamin C than the flesh and contains special fibers that amplify the benefits. Ideal amount: 2 kiwis per day. But don't go overboard. More than that can upset your stomach. For the second kiwi, make it your dessert after your biggest meal, especially if that meal includes meat, chicken, fish, or eggs. I got a message from Patricia, 66. She'd been using protein supplements her doctor recommended, but she wasn't seeing much change. When she started pairing her meals with kiwi before each main dish, things shifted quickly. Within 4 weeks, her muscles started to firm up. It was like my body finally knew what to do with all the protein I'd been giving it, she told me. Her doctor was stunned. Her protein levels in her blood had improved dramatically, and she could feel the difference in her strength. Here's another bonus: kiwi doesn't just work on your muscles. It also boosts your immune system, which helps lower chronic inflammation. Less inflammation, better protein synthesis, stronger, more efficient muscle building. But, and this is crucial, not all kiwis are built the same. Traditional green kiwis are higher in vitamin C. The golden variety has more of those powerful digestive enzymes. So, what's the best strategy? Alternate: 1 day green, 1 day golden. That's exactly what my friend Don Mario, 73, started doing. 2 months later, he told me not only had his muscle strength improved, but so had his digestion. "I don't feel weighed down after meals anymore," he said. Bottom line, kiwi helps your body build new muscle by improving how it processes and absorbs protein. But coming up next, the next fruit on this list has a very different talent. It can actually speed up tissue repair, helping you bounce back faster than ever. Now, fruit number 5. It's one most of us take for granted, but it's sitting right there in your kitchen. Papaya. Yeah, I know it seems simple, maybe too familiar, but hear me out. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that when you strain a muscle or feel sore after exercising, that pain can linger for days, even weeks? Back when we were younger, soreness would fade in a day or two. Now, it can feel like it never ends. And that's not just about aging, it's because our muscle repair system slows way down. Think of it like a construction crew working at half speed. Eventually, they'll patch things up, but it'll take forever. That's where papaya steps in like a secret weapon. I've seen it work in real life. The secret lies in an enzyme called papain. This enzyme doesn't just help with digestion, it literally breaks down the damaged proteins in your muscles after use. Whether you've done a workout or just lifted groceries, those tiny microscopic tears need clearing out. Papain speeds that process up so your body can get to rebuilding sooner with fresh, healthy muscle tissue. But papaya's magic doesn't stop there. It's packed with a rare vitamin cocktail vitamins, A, C, E, and K, working together like a team to kickstart cellular regeneration. It's not just one vitamin doing the work, it's a whole crew in sync. Then there are the highly absorbable minerals, magnesium, potassium, and calcium, all present in the exact proportions your muscles need to function properly. And unlike most supplements, your body can absorb these minerals up to 3 times more efficiently from papaya. Now here's something else that got my attention: natural anti-inflammatories. Papaya contains compounds like lycopene that target muscle inflammation specifically without interfering with the healthy short-term inflammation that's necessary for proper healing. That's a fine balance most medications don't get right. A study from the National University of Columbia tracked 180 older adults dealing with sarcopenia over a 16-week period. One group added papaya to their routine after physical activity, the other didn't. The results mind-blowing. The papaya group experienced a 52% drop in post-exercise soreness, boosted their exercise tolerance by 40%, recovered muscle strength 60% faster, and gained noticeably more lean muscle mass. So, how do you do it right? Here's the specific protocol I personally used during stunt training recovery. Timing matters. Only eat papaya after physical activity, whether it's a long walk, yard, workhouse chores, or a full workout. The enzymes work best when there's microscopic damage to repair. The ideal amount: 1 cup of fresh papaya diced. Don't go over. That too many enzymes can irritate the stomach in some people. How to prep it: let it sit at room temperature. Do not eat it cold out of the fridge. The enzymes activate more effectively at body temperature. Power combo tip: if you've just done something more physically demanding like lifting weights or doing yard work, mix your papaya with a few spoonfuls of plain Greek yogurt. The papain breaks down damaged muscle tissue, and the protein from the yogurt kicks muscle rebuilding into high gear. I've used that combo myself after long days on set, and trust me, it works. There's another major benefit: muscle flexibility. Papain doesn't just repair, it keeps your muscle fibers soft and elastic. But there's one critical thing to remember: ripeness matters. If your papaya is too green, it won't have enough active enzymes. If it's overripe, those enzymes begin to break down and lose their potency. The perfect papaya is yellow with a few orange spots, just slightly soft when you press it, not mushy. Also, it needs to be fresh. Once a papaya is cut, its enzymes begin to degrade quickly. So make sure you eat it within 2 hours of slicing it for maximum benefit. Papaya helps your muscles recover at lightning speed. But the next fruit on this list, it's got antioxidant powers so strong it can actually start reversing years of accumulated cellular damage. We've hit fruit number 6, and let me tell you, this one is a total powerhouse. We're talking about pomegranate here, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it might just be the most powerful fruit on the planet when it comes to muscle regeneration. I've got a personal story for this one: my uncle Eduardo. He's 78 now and used to be one of those guys who could lift anything, built like a tank. But a few years ago, he lost so much muscle mass that his doctor basically told him there was no turning back. He said, "At your age, the goal is just to slow the decline." You can imagine how crushing that was for a guy who had always taken pride in his physical strength. It pushed him into a deep depression. But then his daughter, who works in medical research, shared some new studies on pomegranate and its effects on muscle repair. Uncle Eduardo figured he had nothing to lose, so he started drinking concentrated pomegranate juice every single day. For the first few weeks, nothing seemed to change, but by week 8, something incredible started happening. Not only did the muscle loss stop, he actually began to gain strength and lean muscle. It was visible. His doctor was so stunned that he ordered a new round of tests, thinking maybe Eduardo was secretly taking steroids. But nope, just pomegranate. His doctor was so intrigued he started digging into the research himself. So, what exactly makes pomegranate so special? For starters, it has the highest antioxidant concentration of any fruit on Earth. And we're not talking about generic antioxidants here. The key player is a rare compound called punicalagin, and this one targets skeletal muscle regeneration in a very specific way. Here's the science behind it, and I've personally used this protocol when prepping for demanding roles where muscle recovery was key. First, pomegranate activates satellite cells. These are like muscle stem cells. As we age, they fall into a dormant state. But punicalagin literally reawakens them and signals them to start rebuilding damaged muscle fibers. Second, it supports mitochondrial repair. The mitochondria are your muscle cells' energy factories, and over time they break down. Pomegranate contains compounds that actually restore and regenerate those mitochondria, meaning more fuel and better performance. Third, it reverses oxidative stress. This blew my mind. Pomegranate doesn't just prevent future cell damage, it can actually undo some of the harm that's already been done over the years, like turning back the biological clock on your muscle tissue. And fourth, it enhances protein synthesis. That means your muscles become more efficient at using the protein you give them, improving recovery growth and strength like a high-performance upgrade to your body's internal systems. There was a groundbreaking study out of the University of California that followed 120 older adults with advanced sarcopenia over a 24-week period. Half the participants took pomegranate extract daily, while the other half received a placebo. The results historic. The pomegranate group gained an average of 2.4 kilograms of lean muscle mass, improved overall strength by 45%, increased muscle endurance by 38%. And here's the wild part, showed signs of reversing age-related muscle deterioration. But what really stunned the researchers was that these improvements didn't just hold after the study ended, they continued. It was like pomegranate had flipped the switch on the body's muscle regeneration system. Now, here's the protocol I used and still use. There are 3 great options. Option 1. The strongest version, pure concentrated pomegranate juice. Mix 2 tablespoons with cold water and drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Do this every single day. Option 2. Fresh pomegranate seeds. Eat about half a cup of seeds in the morning, also on an empty stomach. You can eat them plain or toss them in with some Greek yogurt. Option 3. Pomegranate extract powder. 1 teaspoon blended into a smoothie with other fruits, drink it before breakfast. But here's the catch, and this is key: quality and consistency are everything. Make sure it's 100% pure pomegranate. No added sugar, no preservatives. You want the real stuff. And take it daily because pomegranate's benefits build over time. Each dose stacks on top of the last, creating a cumulative effect that rewires how your muscles repair and grow. We're down to the final fruit, and trust me, you're not going to believe which one it is. It's something you probably never imagined could help fight muscle loss. But get ready, this last one might be the most surprising of them all. We've finally reached the 7th and last fruit, and I've got to tell you, this one completely shifted the way I understand how to fight sarcopenia. Avocado. I know it might surprise you, most people don't even think of avocado as a fruit, but technically it is. And when it comes to tackling age-related muscle loss, it might just be the most important one on the list. What makes avocado so powerful against sarcopenia is that it doesn't just support muscle health, it targets the hormonal root cause of muscle loss in aging adults. While other fruits help by reducing inflammation or supporting tissue repair, avocado works by supporting hormone production. First, it's loaded with a specific type of monounsaturated fat that acts as a direct building block for anabolic hormones, the very hormones we need to grow and preserve muscle. As we age, we produce less of those hormones. Avocados give the body the raw materials it needs to make more. Second, they're packed with potassium. One medium avocado contains more than 3 bananas. But what's critical is that the potassium comes balanced with magnesium, creating the perfect duo for supporting muscle protein synthesis. Third, avocados deliver a special form of folate that helps DNA and RNA synthesis in muscle cells, essential for cell repair and regeneration. Fourth, they contain active vitamin K2, which helps direct calcium into the muscles and bones, keeping it from building up in the arteries. For older adults, that's a big deal. There was this study out of the University of Texas. They tracked 200 women over 65 dealing with sarcopenia. Half of them ate 1 avocado a day, the other half didn't change their diet. After 20 weeks, the avocado group gained an average of 1.9 kilograms of lean muscle, increased their grip strength by 35%, raised their natural anabolic hormone levels by 22%, and improved their bone density at the same time. But here's the secret: timing and combination are everything. You need to eat your avocado during your main meal of the day alongside some form of protein, whether it's animal-based or plant-based. The fats in avocado enhance the absorption of both protein and fat-soluble vitamins. 1 whole avocado a day is ideal, half won't do enough, and more than 1 might be too much in terms of calories. I like mine with a pinch of sea salt, a drizzle of olive oil, and a little lemon. It helps your body take in all the nutrients. The best combination I've found is avocado with lean protein and greens. Think grilled chicken with spinach and avocado. I used that combo during training days on set, and it kept me strong and energized. Avocados also help control hunger. They keep you feeling full for hours. That helps avoid the constant snacking that can sabotage your progress. Rosa, one of my followers, told me she used to crave sweets all the time. But once she added avocado to her lunch, the cravings disappeared. It just became easier to eat clean, she said. Now here's one crucial tip. Ripeness matters. Too firm, and it hasn't developed its healthy fats yet. Too soft, and the fats have already oxidized and lost their potency. A ripe avocado should give slightly when you press it and have a bright green flesh inside, no brown spots. And now, the biggest revelation of all. The most powerful fruit against sarcopenia isn't just one of these 7, it's the combination of them and the timing in which you consume them. That's what I discovered after years of trial and error. You see, your body doesn't treat each fruit like an isolated ingredient. Every fruit you eat influences how your body processes the next. Some combinations amplify benefits, others cancel them out. For 3 years, I experimented with different sequences, different pairings, different times of day. And what I discovered changed everything. There's one specific sequence that can multiply the effect of each fruit by up to 300%. This is the complete regenerative schedule, 600 a.m. right after waking up on an empty stomach. Pomegranate juice. 2 tablespoons of concentrated juice in a glass of water to activate antioxidants and wake up your satellite muscle cells. 700 a.m. pre-breakfast, 1 whole kiwi with the skin on. The enzymes will prep your digestion for the day. Breakfast, half an avocado with your protein source to support absorption. 12:00 p.m. 30 minutes before lunch, a cup of fresh blueberries to prime your muscles. 1:00 p.m. During lunch, the other half of the avocado alongside your main protein meal. 4:00 p.m. pre-activity, 1 ripe banana to provide steady energy. 6:00 p.m. post-activity, 1 cup of papaya to accelerate recovery. 9:00 p.m. Before bed, tart cherry juice or whole tart cherries to support overnight repair. Why is this sequence so effective? Because each fruit primes your body for the next pomegranate, triggers antioxidant defense, kiwi optimizes digestion, avocado supports hormonal balance and absorption, blueberries prep muscle uptake, banana provides energy, papaya repairs, and tart cherries enhance deep nighttime regeneration. But most of all, this is about regaining your life, your energy, your independence, your confidence. Stick to this sequence, and here's what you'll start to see in weeks 1-2, more energy and less fatigue. Weeks 3-4, stronger grip and endurance. Weeks 5-8, visible muscle growth and improved balance. Weeks 9-12, full transformation in strength and physical confidence. And here's what I want you to remember: sarcopenia is not your fate. It's not something you just have to accept. It's a condition you can fight, slow down, and even reverse with the right tools. Real transformation takes time. But if you follow this regenerative sequence consistently, you'll feel the difference in the first week, see strength gains in the first month, and experience visible change within the first 3 months. Most importantly, you'll begin to feel like yourself again, like someone you can rely on. If this helped you, I've got something special for you. In my next video, I'm going to share the 5 most effective resistance exercises for older adults dealing with sarcopenia. No gym, no equipment, just your own body. They pair perfectly with the fruit sequence. Click the video on screen to watch now, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new tip. Remember, your age is just a number. Your strength, vitality, and independence are in your hands. The regenerative sequence is your path back to everything you thought you lost. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep building your new life stronger than ever.